Here, just a quick channel update here, as well as some things to expect and a short story about my background that I've never shared before. Stay tuned to the end. All right, so I'm expecting a really big, I would say a very influential person to come on a podcast with me. I invited him. He has not committed yet, but he's not super well known, but his influence is far and wide on what he's done, has already done. His companies, his control, and what he's involved in. So he's in the Bitcoin space. It'll be a big one. His name's not well known, but his companies are, and his influence is very important, very powerful. So hopefully that'll happen soon. Now, last Friday? I get a text from, I would say, like my wingman in college, and for the people who don't know, I went to grew up in I was born in the city, SF, but I grew up in Sacramento, and then I played baseball. I was going to be a Major League Baseball player my whole life. That was it. Nothing else mattered in life when I was a kid. Nothing. I'll tell you. I was one track minded. There was nothing else but going to the major leagues was an all or nothing play. So I did play really competitive in high school and then played in college for 1 year. But I 1.5 years basically. Either way, I played at a little junior college, redshirted, and then I ended up making excuses and getting hurt, whatever. So it never happened. Shortly thereafter, I went over to Sac State, and then I rushed Delta Chi. But when I rushed, it changed everything. It really turned me into a man from a freaking a boy, a coward, into a man. And so last Friday, I get a call from my wingman in college. He was like, dude, Mark Penny is the man. He's just a legend. I mean, I could tell stories about Mark Penny's personality. His personality is so magnetic. It's like, he looks like the Tom Cruise character on that movie that he did, Cocktails. Was it Cocktails? Where he's a bartender? Cocktails, I think it was. Anyways, like the 80s movie. That's a pretty much almost exactly how he looks. But he's much taller. Tom Cruise is like 5'9". Penny's like 6'3". But same build, same look, super charismatic like that character. Very charismatic. Incredibly, like next level. So he invites me out and I go over there and I see him. It was great to see him and Ryan Brown. And then when I rushed the fraternity, as I'm going, John Pearson, who rushed me, was my dentist's son. He rushed me to rush a group called SAE. They were off campus at the time. So I came to the booth and went up to one of the booths, and it was Shawn Malone at the booth, and Shawn Malone ended up rushing me for Delta Chi. I talked to a couple for other fraternities. One was Sigma Chi, and ended up realizing Delta Chi was for me. And I called John Pearson. I said, hey, should I rush Delta Chi, or because SAE's off campus? Yeah, rush Delta Chi. They're the next best. And it was absolutely life changing. It was such a click for me. And so Shawn Malone rushed me, became my big bro. I saw him last night. He was there, and then after college, his older brother rushed him. So he was there first before him, Chris. And so after college, Chris and I were like freaking this, like, because I basically got into a company called AmericaQuest, which was the, biggest subprime lender in the freaking nation. We were number one, and I became the number one agent in the company and the number one branch in the company out of like 10,000 people. But it wasn't just because of me, it's because when I was there, I brought in like 15 guys from the fraternity, and my wingman at AmericaQuest was Chris Malone. He and I worked together on everything. I mean, it was like magic, dude. It was like Starsky and Hutch. I can't even tell you. I mean, Starsky and Hutch, what that even means. But it was magic. It was symmetry in motion, what we did. And even though we were working independently in sales, didn't matter. Like, we would just feed off each other. And what it was the loyalty. That's what the principle was, made it so special. Because no matter what we did, we knew that we were loyal to each other. We were going to look out for each other. And that was just me, but it was like everybody in the office. Like, that's it. We're all in this together. Everybody's in it. We were tight. No matter what, we're staying together. And that was I came up with some principles like loyalty, respect, unity, chivalry, and knowledge. And that was the first principle, that loyalty principle that we had gelled together. allowing us to be dependable on each other, no matter what, like blood loyalty, because of the fraternity. So I see all these guys last night: Chris Malone, Shawn Malone, Mark Penny, Ryan Brown, dude. I mean, Meyer, Dia, Alpha Delta class, Pat, and we just have, dude. I mean, we just have the best. I mean, it was so. I don't know what it is. I mean, I have not been active in the fraternity since I graduated in 2002, but after that was fraternity, we got kicked off campus, right? So shortly thereafter, I still was around. I mean, I'm sorry, it took 8 years. So we were off campus for 8 years, but our reach was like far and deep and wide, you know? So we were banned from talking to the chapter, but 8 years later, it was okay. By 8 years past, I was like, oh, whatever. The chapter starts back up again. And so we're, we're getting involved. And this is one of the funniest, I don't even know if I can share this story. Mark Penny rents out. Mark Penny is a cop. Well, yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to share. So I won't share too much. I want to share it so bad, but I won't do it. I won't share it. You know, either way, Mark, his personality is so funny. Some of the funny stories are like the guy would never get in trouble. He's a cop, and some of the things he did would always get blamed on someone else, you know. And there's a very specific story that he did that was really dumb, that many stories, 2 of them I could think of, that he got a free rat pass on just because he is who he is Mr. Charisma, and everybody loves him. And he's like gets the pass, but they blame it on somebody else, or they say, oh, don't worry about it. Really stupid things. But yeah, that just shows you. And I just want to share a little background on my story. Delta Chi, it was so good to see Chris Malone. I hadn't had to sit down with him in like, I don't know. It's been a minute. I don't even know how long. But you know, we were going to buy a commercial building. I remember this in West Sacramento and do an office in a boiler room before I started my office at 770 L Street, where I did like a boiler room office, but I leased the space, you know. A year before that, 2 years before that, while I was building that house in West Sac, I mean, you know, he and I were about to buy that place, man, and we were so close. He told me, he's like, man, we should have bought that building. I'm like, oh, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But you know, it is one of those things that you look back and that would have been a great thing to have a commercial building right across the river. But you know, we just had such a connection, and you know, it was the loyalty principle Delta Chi had taught me. I just want to say thank you to those guys, man. I got so much love and so much appreciation. It's like a family, really is. And even though I don't see those guys that often, when I do, it's literally like no time has passed. It's that close. So share another video on Delta Chi here soon. So anyways, all right. Hit the ones. Like, comment, subscribe. My name is Gavin Mehl. I'll see you at the top. And great to see you guys later.